Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. As you can see from the title of this video, a young man has lost his life for speaking to someone's girlfriend who happens to be a Becky. He spoke to her at some type of house party gathering, and the boyfriend saw this and went into a rage and pursued him in his pickup truck and took his life. I want to talk more so about the lesson in all of this, not so much as the tragedy in itself, or the incident, should I say, because I am going to be talking about the tragedy, but from a perspective of knowing and understanding who we are dealing with. On this channel, for years, I have talked about the issue of interracial relationships, especially dating and marriage. And when you look at the scenario of Emmett Till many years ago, he simply whistled at a white woman and lost his life. In this case, this young man spoke to this woman. The boyfriend didn't like it, pursued him, and took his life. Listen, family, I don't know how many times our people have to hear stories like this and hear others talk about this before we finally get it, before we finally understand that we need to stay out of that territory. What territory am I talking about? Why do we feel the need to snuggle up with people who have told us time and time again that they can't stand us? I know y'all hear me say that a lot on this channel, but I'm trying to get it to sink in. Nobody has to be in your face telling you directly, I can't stand you. But their actions have shown time and time again, both in the past and the present, and I'm pretty sure it's coming in the future too. They've already told us and showed us how they feel about us. And so why do we keep on trying to force the issue on being around people who don't like us? Now, I do understand that they were saying that the young man, the black man, was mentally challenged somehow. But we need to teach our young people. We need to teach our people who we are dealing with. They need to understand that there is a perpetual hatred that many of them have for us. Because if he understood this, maybe he wouldn't have tried to speak to someone else's woman. Now, when he said speak, they said he was talking. He saw the boyfriend saw him talking to his woman. Okay, so that could mean so many different things, family. Was he carrying on a conversation with her? Did he say, hi, ma'am, how are you doing? Or did he say, oh, nice party? What was going on? Was he trying to snuggle up to her? It's quite possible it was none of those things, but just a casual talking. But it was enough to send Biff into a rage and cause him to take this young man's life. Our brothers need to know and understand that Becky is off limits. But because our people aren't getting this, and we continue to make excuse after excuse after excuse for pursuing Becky straightway like an ox to the slaughter, vice versa, our women are doing the same thing now. Because we continue to do these things, we're going to continue to see these stories. And listen, this is something that the Bible speaks against. This is not a personal matter for me. Although it's never been my personal preference to be with anyone outside of my race. There were times where I didn't see anything wrong with it. I just didn't know any better. But now that I know what I know, now that I've read what the Bible says about this and how the Most High views this, I understand why there's a judgment attached to it. And it's like our people don't want to understand it. They don't want to get it. They want to be victims of this. That's what it seems like to me. It seems like our people are happy and content with being victims in situations like this. The young man, I feel sorry for him because they did say he was slow or whatever. But regardless of how slow someone is, they can still be taught who they are dealing with, the mindset that they are dealing with, and not to mix and mingle with crowds of people. I'm just going to be honest with you. When I look at the guy who ran him down, who would want to be in the same room with a man looking like that? He looks like he's packed full of rage. He looked like it. And many times our people find themselves in situations where they are surrounded by people like that, thinking that they are friends. They treat them as friends. They act as though they are friends. They act as though these people can be trusted. They act as if they don't believe or think that these people are capable of doing any harm to them, even though history has already taught us these very valuable lessons. And for those of you who don't like to hear me talk about this stuff, look, my people need to be informed who the hell they're dealing with. People that will do these kind of things to you. This is another Emmett Till, James Byrd situation. That we continue to see these things happening all over and over and over again. And we keep getting the same stuff. Our people acting as if they don't know that we're living in the land of our captivity. Acting as if they don't know that these things are happening. And then you have Gentiles pretending like or acting as if we are reading too much into these situations. As if we need to stop talking about these things if we want these issues to vanish away. You can't vanish that type of demon out of somebody's heart by not talking about their issues. The thing is, you all want us to hide your shame, the things that you keep doing to us. You want us to stop talking about it and have the bobblehead syndrome where we're saying, yes, massa, love me, massa. Be my friend, massa. That's what you all want. Because you can't bring those days back, you're going to try to make it as uncomfortable for people as possible. And you know that in many cases, not all, because in this case, this young man was arrested. I can't see any possible justification that they could come up with, although we have seen some cases where they have come up with justification of some of the most heinous things you can imagine, where they will come up with a way to say that it was okay, it was self-defense, even though the man was, let's just say, 10 miles down the road. We know he wasn't 10 miles down the road. I'm just over-exaggerating here. He was 10 miles away, but he was a imminent threat at that moment. We've seen cases where they will do those kinds of things just to justify letting go a criminal who took someone's life. Look at what they're trying to do with Amber Geiger. Her attorney wants to make her the victim. We are dealing with psychotic minds here when you have people who will see, know, and understand that they have done some dirty, rotten, low-down things to people, but they don't think they should have to pay the consequences. They don't think that they should be held accountable, but they want you to be held accountable for jaywalking. That's the kind of mindset we're dealing with right now, family. But again, with our people, men and women, stop going after these people straightway like an ox to the slaughter. Okay? They don't even want you talking to their women. So why do our people keep getting caught up in the same madness? And then you have our men pushing this whole ideology that Becky is best. Well, I'll tell you what. There's a judgment slated for people who do such things. Okay, family, with that I will say shalom.